Hey everybody, this is Harrison, Burger One with Level 1 Gaming. Holy Mother of the Hops, bringing you a review for Ale Abbey. Early access review to be exact. Move over AAA games, there's a new contender in town, and it lets me drink and brew beer all in the name of the church. With hands raised like a gospel choir, I craft my first batch of swill. Our Holy Mother of the Hops has blessed us today, so now let's get drunk and recite 14th century prose or whatever. I had a chance to check this out during the most previous Steam Next Fest, and for my demo impressions, I was really positive on this game. And it's rare to find a game that perfectly caters to such your esoteric enjoyments, and for me, Ale Abbey fits that perfect mold for me. Armed with real-life ale and a mild buzz, I sat down to indulge in a game that I'm shocked still exists, but I'm so glad it does. So to get some early access caveats out of the way, let's address the obvious. This game is in early access. Reviewing a game in early access always comes with some of these caveats, but I usually approach them with a simple question. Should you hop in right now? Get it? I'm sorry, my jokes are horrible. Should you hop in right now or wait? Some early access games suffer from lazy development with updates rolling in at a glacial pace, but not here. The game launched on February 18th, and just within a few days, the devs have already released 6 patches, which is really impressive. So what do you do here? In Ale Abbey, you play as the all-powerful overseer of an abbey tasked with brewing beer, keeping monks, sisters happy, balancing finances, shipping brews to nearby villages, and perfecting your own recipes, all while maintaining your holy sanctuary. From the get-go, the game does a really solid job of walking you through the basics. The tutorial, in my opinion, is a tad long, but it does strike a nice balance. It's not too hand-holdy, not too overwhelming either, just right, like a gentle but firm handshake. There are some places where it stumbles, but I'll get into that later on. But let's talk about the true stars of your ale-filled monastery. The monks, nuns, or sisters. They make an absolute mess of the place. Like, these people are total slobs. It's as if they throw raves once the sun goes down like a 14th century Kenny Chesney. But what's even worse is they stop brewing. I don't care if you can't stand the dark. Brew that beer new engine! Excuse me. That said, keeping your drunk disciples happy is fairly straightforward. They need beds, tables, and a clean environment because, as I mentioned, they are absolute slobs. Oh, and their inebriation levels? Gotta keep those at the perfect sweet spot. Have you ever played a management sim where your potential employees have an inebriation stat? I sure hadn't until now, but now every game I've ever played needs an inebriation stat. XCOM 3? Yeah, put that in there. Sims? Better have it too. Animal Crossing? Well, duh, how else do you think those people are gonna live in that horrible island? Bring them an inebriation stat. And as your operation grows, so does your staff. You'll pick from a list of candidates, each with different stats like intelligence, brewing skill, and most importantly, their ability to brew something that doesn't taste like Bud Light. At its core, Ale Abbey follows a simple but pretty engaging gameplay loop. Seasons change, and so do the beer preferences of nearby towns. You'll also receive contracts with specific conditions, like there's a random kid throwing a bar mitzvah, so they need a certain type of beer with specific quantities and deadlines. Once you get into the groove, or the rhythm, it's genuinely really easy to lose yourself in the cycle of brewing, perfecting recipes, and shipping orders. Just that almost one more day, one more turn loop that games like this want you to crave. However, after 5 or 6 hours, I felt like I had seen the full extent of the loop in early access. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does highlight some areas that in my opinion need refinement before it gets out of early access. For starters, the tutorial, while informative, drags on a little longer than necessary. It introduces essential mechanics like hiring monks, researching Abbey upgrades, crafting beer recipes, dealing with pesky thieves. Spoiler, just give them more beer because that's how we solve all of life's problems. The biggest issue here is that the game randomly removes town contracts during the tutorial and some story segments for some reason. If you don't have enough money for the next required upgrade and the game suddenly stops offering contracts, well, tough luck. You'll be forced to grind for an hour to earn the same amount you could have made in 10 minutes with those contracts. To be specific, there was one moment where I was tasked with building a cellar, but prior to receiving that objective, I splurged on building some lights that my monks could see in the dark with. Because of that, the simple task of building a cellar took me 30-ish minutes as opposed to 15 seconds, because at the end of the previous objective, I was supposed to use my money on the cellar, but hadn't been told that yet. These arbitrary roadblocks definitely soured my saison. That said, when the beer is flowing and the contracts are rolling in, this is where Ale Abbey truly shines. Like I said, it's easy to slip into a just one more day mentality, or in my case, just one more beer mindset. And that's truly where the game's magic lies. The constant loop of brewing, creating, and delivering. When you hit that groove, an hour disappears in the blink of an eye. And a key magic of the game is attempting to perfect a beer recipe. It's up to you to balance these necessary ingredients to create something special, which is honestly easier said than done. At the start, you're truly making swill, or at least I was. But by the end, I felt like I had a decent enough grasp on the system to deliver a beer worthy of my own taste buds, and perfecting recipes is definitely a highlight of the gameplay. What further helps the gameplay is the aesthetics and presentation here. Helping that immersion is Abbey's truly phenomenal presentation. The design, music, UI are all top tier. The game's stained glass inspired art style is absolutely gorgeous. It perfectly captures the medieval setting without feeling repetitive or generic. Some games reduce medieval aesthetics, to drab browns and grays filled with stereotypical music. This one doesn't. Recently, a game like Pentiment, for example, set the standard for how a game in this time period should look and sound. Thankfully, Abbey joins Pentiment in respecting this time period and avoids being reductive in this category. So while the game is off to a great start, there are a few quirks need ironing out in my opinion. For one, extra hiring feels unnecessary early on. Many rewards let you hire more monks. For most of the tutorial, you can only have one brewing station. So why would I need extra hands if they have nothing to do except drink my delicious beer and get sad because I have nothing for them to do? Another thing is contract disappearances. Like I said earlier, sometimes these contracts disappear during the tutorial, leading to frustrating unnecessary grinding. The third thing would be limited customization. More customization options would be a huge welcome addition. Thankfully, the devs have this on their roadmap. And the final thing, which is the biggest for me, is a lack of key remapping. The devs have said this is coming in the future, but as somebody who's debilitatingly left-handed and uses a left-handed mouse and remaps every game I play, I have to take points off here for accessibility. As of writing, the devs have not released an early access roadmap, but the current planned additions are key remapping, adding keys for missing features like fast-forwarding time, slight redesign in recipe creation and brewing's time to speed up the earlier ones, leading to a general increase of the impact on the fermentine skills, smarting up the way that the monk stats improve based on their tasks, adjusting the satisfaction of early hired monks, adding missing notifications and adding proper reaction and notification clicks, allow to see which monks are hired as research and custodians and also the details of those to be hired, UI changes to cover for text overflows in localized languages, redesign of UI for ales stored in barrels and preventing from occluding furniture interaction, and of course, various bug fixes and polishing. And overall, what I'd love to see added is this game kind of already reminds me of Fallout Shelter in a little bit, and I would love to see events in this game like a bishop visiting, so you have to brew extra beer within a certain time limit, a thief raid on the Abbey, I don't know, anything with Fallout Shelter, just any type of those world events would be great if you've played that. The current look of Abbey eventually does start look the same, and random events could really help you stay more engaged with the game. So my verdict, unfortunately, is wait for a few more patches. When it's all said and done, I think Abbey is worth your $15 price tag, but with some caveats. Right now, you might run into some frustrating moments that could have been avoided by waiting a little longer. This is a game that I really want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I just can't. Right now, at least. That said, I do believe with a few more updates, Abbey will reach its full potential. And honestly, if you're a fan of management sims that are, a little easier to get into and make the time go by faster, this is one to absolutely keep on your radar or pick up right now. It's sleek, it's easy to pick up, and it oozes uniqueness. For now, though, again, wait for a couple more patches to diving in. But please understand, I am saying do buy this game. Do support the developers. If not now, then at least in the future. It's available right now in early access on Steam. Huge thanks to the devs, Shiro Unlimited and Hammers and Ravens for the review key. I'll toast my next few beers to y'all. And for everybody else, thanks so much for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.